Hello, how y'all doing? Good morning. I want to talk about what are the critical lessons, some of the critical lessons to be learned about the government shutdown. Now, I'm sure there are many lessons to be learned from the government shutdown. Now, I think that with any kind of disaster, whether you're talking about divorce or any kind of loss, there are lessons to be learned. Now, what are some of these lessons to be learned in the government shutdown? Number one, no dependence on the government. No dependence for housing, food, or job. Now, if you have food stamps right now, I would suggest that you stock up on food right now. That will keep yourself from the pending food riots, because there are going to be some food riots. But if you are well stocked with food, you can avoid all of that. Now, I still have detergent, lotion, soap, deodorant that I have been stocked. I haven't bought it in years. Why? Because I've been stocked up for years, using coupons or whatever. So you can do that. The Mormons have 365 days worth of food in their house. Every Mormon is required to have 365 days worth of food in their house. And maybe we can learn something from that. Now, do not depend on the government for housing. Because like I said in the previous video, they're giving it all to the illegals and the refugees, but mostly to the illegals. All housing. You better go buy yourself a $300 tax delinquent property. They are in every city. Now, you cannot depend on the government for a job. I'm not even sure Social Security will be there in my years, okay? You better try for an independent economy. Make that a side hustle for an independent economy. Now, you notice that the Koreans and the Indians are not fussing over the government shutdown. Why? Because they're super savers. And a lot of them have an independent economy. They have stores, they have laundromats, etc. But they're not belly aching over the government shutdown. Why? Because they are super savers. They wear the same shoes for 7 years, probably the same clothes for 7 years, okay? They are super savers. So even if they have a government job and they lost the government job because of the shutdown, they're not worried about it because they have enough savings for probably 10 years and no mortgage, okay? So number two, this lesson to be learned, you say, well, it's all Trump's fault. Well, it doesn't matter who got in office, because even though I admit Trump is the lesser of the two evils, whether it was Hillary or Trump that got in office. But I have to admit Trump is the lesser of the two evils. But it's all going to be bad. Number three, the critical lessons. You notice a lot of people, if you just look at the videos on YouTube and read the various newspapers, a lot of people do not know how they're going to pay their bills. Why? Because they have no savings. Now, even all of the financial gurus tell people to have at least 6 months of savings to meet their bills. I submit to you, you should have about 1.5 years of savings to meet your bills. The problem with these people is that they don't have any savings. And that's why they can't pay their bills. Number four, stop buying into the quote unquote world system of doing things. The world system is saying buy a big house, bigger house than what you and your children need. I saw a kid playing in their house. It was a substandard house, and that kid was just very content. Stop buying a big house or a big condo that you and your children, you don't really need, and buy it on debt. That's what the world is saying, buy it on debt. You should pay cash for a house or either put 50% down. The world system is saying get what you want at any cost, even if you have to borrow to get it. No, you better learn to sacrifice. You better learn to do without it. You better learn to do without the hair and nails. You better learn to do without the latest fashion boots. Now, churches are just as stupid because they're obeying what the world says. Pastors are borrowing against their church, getting money to pay for their various businesses, to pay for their cars and divorce bills, okay? Churches are just as stupid. I hear about bankrupt churches all the time. Just stupid. Now, the biblically based economics says to make sacrifice. I would like for you to find me scripture and verse where it says we are supposed to live high on the hog. It is not anywhere in scripture that says we're supposed to live high on the hog. It's not there. Scripturally based biblical economics is sacrifice. You don't need to buy everything out here. You don't need to buy 5 crock pots. Okay. Live cheap. The dollar economy, whereas everything costs $1 or less. It is the only economy that works. Pay cash for everything. This whole government shutdown is the tip of the icebergs. Now, you as a poor person, you can avoid a lot of these things. You can avoid the food riot. Stock up on food. Learn the lesson from the government shutdown. Don't depend on the government for anything. Not for housing, not for food, not for a job. Have your own independent economy as much as you can. Pay cash for everything, even a house or car. You don't have to have a Yukon right now. Now, if you're in an illegal economy, none of this applies to you, okay? If you're selling drugs for a living and you got your Cadillac Escalade that you have on Facebook, you got a picture of it on Facebook, none of this applies to you, okay? If you're selling illegal drugs, you're selling poison to the community. You know, there are only 2 options. Either you're going to be dead or in jail. There's only 2 options. So none of this applies to you because you're going to eat anyway, right? Because you're going to pay for your food with that illegal money, okay? But I'm talking to people who work, hard-working individuals. Get on the dollar economy where everything costs $1 or less. Stock up on food. Stock up on non-food items, vitamins, etc. Whatever if you have children, whatever they need. And it's to pay cash for everything. It's the only economy that really works. Have a nice day.